It's Georgetown College basketball doubleheader action tonight from Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky. Tonight, the women of Georgetown College play host to the University of St. Francis Cougars. In game number one of our doubleheader, the men will finish it out against Indiana Southeast on the doubleheader end of it. Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of Georgetown College Tiger Athletics, and we've got a men's-women's basketball doubleheader here from Davis Reed Alumni Gym. We're so glad you're with us. Darren Douglas here to bring you all the action of tonight's game between Georgetown and St. Francis, and then Georgetown and IU Southeast. Of course, the Georgetown College basketball program got underway a few days ago with a loss on the road to Indiana Tech by a final score. The Lady Tigers fell in that one, 66-53. Tigers were led in scoring by Erin Toller, who had 16 points, who didn't have a great night shooting from the floor. She was 4 of 13 overall, 1 of 6 from behind the arc. She was, however, 7 of 10 from the foul line. That was one stat that really hurt the Tigers, not shooting the ball very well from behind the arc. And they got out-rebounded by 10, 37-27 by Indiana Tech. So Coach Jeff Nickel in his second season for the Tigers at the helm here. Of course, Nickel, the longtime head coach at Shawnee State in Portsmouth, Ohio, and the Tigers were able to land him here a year ago, and he has got pretty much an entire new roster this season. The only name, really, a couple of names that you'll find familiar to fans that have been here their entire career, or most of their career. Jalen Leversite is one, and Madison Darnell, who came back for one more year of college basketball. Interesting story development on the University of St. Francis side of things. The Cougars come in with only 10 players on the roster. Their head coach left. They have a coach that took over really, really late. They had only 10 players left on the roster. 3 of them are out this evening due to injury. So the Tigers will have an advantage in depth here at Davis Reed Alumni tonight over their visitors from Indiana. Of course, St. Francis out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Everybody familiar with their football exploits, but they have had very good success on the women's side of things for basketball. The men have also enjoyed some success, but most of their success has been found in the athletic department there in Indiana on the football gridiron. So we'll see how things work out for the Cougars tonight. They do have their hands full with a full roster for Georgetown College at their disposal. We're getting ready to have the starting lineups, and then we'll have the opening tip-off of tonight's opening game of the men's-women's doubleheader from Davis Reed Alumni Gym between Georgetown and St. Francis. The women's getting things underway here to start. So we'll see what happens here as we get the starting lineups here in just a moment. So we're getting ready for, we still got about 8 seconds on the clock before we get down for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Davis Reed Alumni Gym for tonight's women's basketball matchup between the St. Francis Cougars and your Georgetown Tigers. Before we meet the starting lineups, we ask that you please rise if you are able.
We'll get the national anthem here. our national anthem here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, and we'll get the starting lineups for both teams here for the Cougars of St. Francis High School, or St. Francis University, excuse me. Leading off for to be a sophomore, 5'7", Emily Parrott out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Another guard will be a 5'8" sophomore out of Bedford, Indiana, Chloe McKnight. As they'll play 4 guards, only have 7 in uniform tonight. Julia Mantalia is a guard, 5'11", freshman out of Middlebury, Indiana. And Reagan Pate, a 5'8" junior out of Granger, Indiana. And then Cassidy Crawford, a 6' junior out of Tipton, Indiana. And I meant to say the University of St. Francis instead of St. Francis University. And now for the Georgetown College Tigers. At one guard will be Sophie Smith, a 5'7" sophomore out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, Anderson County High School. A 5'7" freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky, and the University of Kentucky transfer, Aaron Toller. Also a guard, or forward, 5'11" senior out of Russell, Kentucky, Madison Darnell. We have Izzy Lampert, a 5'11" sophomore out of Canfield, Ohio. And then Casey Colon, a 5'10" junior out of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and a transfer out of the University of Toledo. So, again, the Tigers led by Jeff Nickel, who had a lot of success at Shawnee State. Took them to numerous Mid-South Conference regular season and conference titles. Hopes to do the same here at Georgetown. As we get set for basketball action here in just a moment. Again, only 7 players in uniform due to injuries. They only had 10 total in the women's basketball program at the University of St. Francis. So pay attention to the depth on this. That's really going to hurt St. Francis. They're going to look to control tempo and make Georgetown play a lot of defense on the half court. It'll be Cologne moving in against Crawford. And Georgetown will move right to left on your video device. And it's Toller that controls the tip and gives back to Sophie Smith. Smith straight away to Cologne. They go down low. Fall away jumper. Good by Lamparty. So the first 2 of the ball game goes to Lamparty. This is Pate with it, guarded by Darnell. Gives on the left side to McKnight, who comes around on the dribble to the right, guarded by Toller. They go down the right block to Crawford, and she stepped on the inline. Turnover for St. Francis. And the Cougars turn it over on their first possession of the night, trailing 2-0. Here come the Tigers. They'll look at a man-to-man defense from the Cougars. Right, left elbow, it goes to Lamparty, and a whistle and a foul coming up on Mantyla, the first foul of the ball game, her first foul. The inbound to Cologne. Here is Smith, left wing to Darnell, inside to Cologne, has it stripped, and the Cougars come away with it. Quickly ahead, this is Mantyla, who can't get it inside, and it's knocked away. And the Cougars will trigger in on the left baseline, left on their own end of the floor. 8:56 to play the opening quarter, 2-0 Tigers. Mantyla cuts through, can't get it to her. They lob out front to Crawford, and a foul coming up on Darnell. Got a little too tight. They're going to call her for the push-off. First foul on Darnell. First on the Tigers. And USF will trigger in here on the near side. This is Parrott with it. Angles off to the left side. Guarded by Lamparty. Gets a screen from Crawford. Goes baseline. Jump stop, put it up off the glass and in. Nice move by Parrott. And we're tied at 2. A minute and a half in. Darnell to Cologne. Left wing to Toller. 3 on the way. Short. Rebound loose on the floor. Nice job of blocking out by USF. Ball's loose. Stay back in and party from 5. No good. Rebounded taken away by Toller. Toller, no look pass, and it goes off the hands of Lamparty. Good work on the glass by the Tigers. Just nothing to show for it. Crawford. Well, inbound to Parrott. Picked up deep by Smith, who gives a little ground, and across the timeline comes Parrott. Man-to-man for the Tigers. Right side it goes to Crawford. McKnight cuts through, can't get it to her. Crawford on the drive, into the lane, spins, puts it off glass, good. First 2 of the night for Crawford, and it's 4-2 Cougars. Cologne, 3 straight away, yes sir. Cologne with her first 3 of the night, and it's 5-4 Tigers. This is Parrott, harassed by Smith. Smith cuts her off as she goes baseline. Skip pass to the left side to Crawford. The 3 on the way, good by Mantila. First 3 of the night for the Cougars, and it's 7-5 St. Francis. Cologne, right wing. Right elbow, it goes to Lamparty. Back to Cologne, down the lane. Hangs, puts it up, no good, and a foul on Mantila, and that's the second on Mantila. Oh, excuse me, it is on Parrott. So the first, stand corrected, the first foul on Parrott, the second on USF. And we get into the ball game. Jalen Landversite, a 6-foot senior out of Nicholasville, Kentucky. Number 12 in white. Cologne hits the first free throw. She has 4, and it's 7-6 in favor of St. Francis. Cologne with the second one, in and out, rebounded by Tyla. Gives it back to Parrott, and here come the Cougars with a 7-6 lead and 7 minutes to play in the opening quarter here. Crawford in the left corner, steps through, and they're going to call for travel. Just a little too much on the Euro step, and a turnover against St. Francis. And Cologne will inbounds. As we come the other direction now. Smith. Right side to Lamversite. Right block it goes to Lamparty. Turns, left-hand jump hook. Comes up short. Rebounded by McKnight. Gives to Crawford, who gives back to Parrott. Parrott with the basketball. To Mantila, 3. No, excuse me, that is Pate with a 3-point shot. No good. Rebounded Smith down the lane. Crossover dribble in the lane. Right-hand layup off the glass. Good. First 2 of the night for Smith. 8-7 Tigers back out by 1. And full court man-to-man pressure by Smith. Cross court. Here's Pate for 3, right wing. This time in and out. Rebounded by Lamparty. Off to Smith. Smith pushes down the middle of the floor. Nothing available in the right corner. Landversite for 3. In and out. Toller, though, will get the rebound. Put it up off the glass and in. Toller just a little too strong for Parrott. 10-7 Tigers. This is Pate. To McKnight to Crawford. Crawford puts it on the floor, gets all the way to the rim, put it up, whistling a foul. Coming up on Cologne, that's the first on Cologne. And Crawford, with her second field goal, she'll get a chance to complete the 3-point play. And we get Callie Jackson, the sophomore out of Graves County High School in Mayfield, Kentucky, replacing Cologne. Crawford looking for the tie. She shoots it short, rebounded by Lamparty. Outlets to Smith. Cross court, Lamversite puts it on the floor, gets all the way to the rim, bump, puts it up, no good. Comes off of there, and the foul is on Regan Pate, her first. And Lamversite will go to the line for two. Lamparty will exit. As we get Lisa Soljamani in for Lamparty. So Lamversite with the first free throw, looks short, bounces off. Tigers lead by 1, 10-9. Here in the first quarter play with 5:19 to play. Second free throw from Lamversite is good. Lamversite goes 1 for 2. And it's 11-9 Tigers. It matches their biggest lead of the night. This is Parrott across the timeline, angles off to the right side, gives it to Crawford off the right block, cross court all the way to the left corner. Pate with it, step back, puts up a three, short, and it goes out of bounds to Georgetown. We get a television or a media timeout on the floor here in Georgetown. With 4:58 to play in the opening quarter, it's Georgetown 11, St. Francis 9. Back to Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College. Men's, women's doubleheader tonight, and so far through the first 4 minutes plus of this one, Georgetown College with a 2-point lead in the women's game over St. Francis. 11-9. Tigers right now not shooting the ball well from the field, but we'll see what transpires over the next few minutes. This is Toller on the right side. Toller pulls up for three as they left her, no good. Rebounded by Crawford for St. Francis. Crawford working on Smith. Good job by Smith to cut her off. Throws over in the corner. Nice job by Mantaya to catch it. Back to Crawford into the lane. Can't get free. Down to Parrott. Left wing. Parrott down the lane. Uses that right shoulder to clear some space on Lamversite. And then Lamversite called for the foul. So the basket counts for Parrott, who just got physical with Lamversite and put it in for her fourth point. Parrott will try to complete the three-point play and give St. Francis the lead again. Her free throw is back rim, no. Rebounded by Jackson. Right corner to Toller, down low to Lamversite. Nice catch, has a partially block, got it back off the rim, put it up, left it short, rebounded by McKnight. Parrott with the basketball. Left wing, guarded by Smith. Looking for a cutter, doesn't have anybody available, gets a screen from Crawford. They look down low for Crawford. Pate can't get it to her. Here's Parrott driving on Lamversite. Left-hand layup, no good. Rebounded by Crawford. Put it up off the glass, no good. And whistle and a foul on Georgetown. Foul is on Callie Jackson, her first. Team's fourth of the quarter. A.J. Stevenson coming in along with Jordan Rogers-Clark in for the Tigers. And Crawford at the line, shooting two. She hits the first. And St. Francis seesaws back out on top, 12-11. Second free throw is back rim, no good. And Tyler got the rebound, tips it back out to Crawford. Crawford to Parrott for three, right wing, good. Right now, St. Francis out-gritting the Tigers on the backboard. They lead 15-11. That's the largest lead of the night for the Cougars. This is a three, in and out for Stevenson, and we have a whistle and a foul on who? One's got, I believe, a Georgetown player. One's got a St. Francis player. Let's see what we got. Yep. Mentila. That's her second. The fourth on St. Francis. And that's the one thing, besides depth and fatigue setting in on St. Francis on this night, it could be foul trouble that hurts. And for now, the Cougars comes Allie Madden, number 40, 6'1" freshman out of Moreland, Indiana. Georgetown turns it over. This is Parrott, gets a screen from Madden. Checks it on the right side, now out. Free throw line extended to Madden, now to McKnight. Tries to go down low to Crawford, had it knocked away. Gets it back, does McKnight. Now she drives the right side, can't get through on Rogers. And a left-hand scoop shot, no good, and a foul coming on Lamparty. That'll be her first. And it'll be two shots for Allie Madden for St. Francis. And the first free throw is short. Right now, St. Francis leaving points at the free throw line. They are 1 of 4 from the line. Excuse me, 1 of 3 right now. They get 1 of 4 now. Lamversite and Lamparty fight, and they lose it. Madden has a shot blocked by Lamparty. Here comes the Tigers with Stevenson, and the Tigers turn it over as we get Cologne and Darnell back in, replacing Lamparty and Landversite. Darnell. Along with Cologne back on. So it's Darnell, Cologne, Stevenson, Sumanajati, Sulajamani. I'll get it right in a minute. I practiced that all day and screwed it up when I got here. This is McKnight. Can't get free. Parrott, three, left wing. Yes, sir. Parrott doesn't need a lot of room. She has 10. She becomes the first player in double figures for either side, and it's an 18-11 ball game in favor of the Cougars. This is Stevenson. Hook pass in the corner to Jordan. Three out of there, way off. Rebounded by Parrott. Here comes St. Francis. McKnight, left wing, checks. Can't get a shot off. Now gives it down to Crawford. He'll work on Cologne. Step through, right-hand layup, too strong. Rebounded by Cologne. Gives it off to Shula Jamani. Drives down the lane. Has it blocked out of there by Madden. Here comes Parrott the other way for St. Francis. Down the lane between two defenders. Laid it in. Parrott now with 12, and St. Francis leads 20-11, and the Tigers taking a 30-second timeout, or 20-second timeout, but they have just been beaten down the floor by this team that has only 7 dressed, and the fortitude of the St. Francis Ball Club right now showing through. Now, we are in the first quarter with 1 minute 34 seconds to play, but the Tigers have to get some offense from somewhere. They are 0 from the three-point arc tonight so far. I think it's 0 for 4 is the official stat. But the Tigers right now need a spark. So after the timeout with Coach Jeff Nickel, the Tigers will climb back in to the offensive forefront, and they'll look at a man-to-man. This is Cologne to Toller. Down low to Darnell, and a foul on Madden. So Madden with her first. She got both hands in the back, and they're calling for the foul. And at the line will be Madison Darnell, who's yet to score tonight. And Darnell will shoot 2. And the first free throw is good from Darnell. That stops a 9-0 run by the Cougars. And Darnell's second free throw is also good. 20-13. Tigers trail by 7 with 1:24 to play in the opening period here. Parrott will work it up on Smith. Left wing it goes to Pate. They look for Madden down low, who goes into the lane on Darnell. Fakes one way, goes back to the right, misses the shot, rebounded by Darnell. Darnell on the move down the left side. Back to Stevenson. Down the low, and a late whistle from the official, and I believe that's going to be Parrott, and that's number 2 on Parrott, and that could be big because that is our leading scorer right now here in the first period with 12. She leads all scorers. Cologne at the free throw line for 2 shots. She is 1 of 2 from the line, 4 points so far on the night. The first free throw is good. 20-14 now. Tigers creep closer. Second free throw, also good from Cologne. 20-15 now. Tigers on a 4-0 run, mini run of their own here to climb back within 5. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Crawford gets to Madden. Tries to get it to Lexi Shelton, a 5'9" sophomore in the lineup for the first time. So Mantila and Parrott both on the bench right now with 2 fouls for St. Francis. This is Crawford. Gets a screen from Shelton. Crawford looking, and a moving screen from McKnight. Offensive foul on McKnight. She moved and it brought her forearms up and hit the Georgetown player a little high. So here come the Tigers trailing by 5 with 34 seconds to play. Down low to Darnell in the corner. Smith for 3. Short. Stevenson, though, will chase down the rebound on the far side. Back to Smith. Here's Toller. Right wing, 3. No, short. Stevenson gets the rebound, put it up, got it. That was just a hustle play there, and it's 20-17 with 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Crawford, skip pass over here. Down low, and a foul coming up on Stevenson. First foul on Stevenson. And at the line will be Madden for 2, where she missed 2 a moment ago. 20-17, Georgetown trailing. First free throw, back rim, no from Madden. Second shot from Madden is good. Quickly ahead, Smith, 3 seconds. Pulls up, deep 3, way short. And we're through 1 quarter of play here in Georgetown. The Tigers trail St. Francis after 1, 21-17. Back with more on the Tigers Sports Network. Georgetown shooting woes here in the first half, or the first quarter. Just really not a lot of clean looks. And when they did get a clean look, they were either short or seemed to rush their shots. And trailing right now after 10 minutes of play here at home in Davis Reed Alumni Gym to University of St. Francis Lady Cougars by a score of 21-17. Upcoming games for Georgetown, the Lady Tigers will be back in action this Friday night, this Friday night when they take on Miami University of Hamilton. That'll be another part of a men's-women's doubleheader. They will play at 5:30. The next home game after that, that'll be a good one. Thomas More University, 1 o'clock on the 19th of November. And then they'll play on the 22nd. That'll be on I believe that's a Tuesday night, when they'll take on the University of the Cumberlands. And that game will be at 5:30, another men's-women's doubleheader. That Thomas More University game on November the 19th, that'll feature the number 1 ranked Thomas More University Women's Ball Club coming in here. It'll be St. Francis basketball on the alternating possession to begin quarter number 2. The Cougars have a 21-17 lead. This is Pate with it, straight away to Mentila. Back to Pate. Right corner goes to McKnight. Right block to Crawford. Crawford working on Darnell and put it up and in. Crawford now with 7. And it's 23-17. Lady Cougars. This is Cologne to Toller on the right side. Down the right block goes to Darnell. Put it up, no good. Got it back. Put it up again. Left it short. Rebound tipped around. Crawford pulls it down for St. Francis. Darnell left it both attempts short. In the corner to Mentala. She stepped on the end line, or the sideline over there. Georgetown will inbound just to the left of their bench. Trailing 23-17 with 9:03 to play before halftime. This is Smith across the timeline. Now to Toller to the right wing. Right elbow, back to Cologne. Lets 3 go from left of the circle. Got it. Second 3 of the night for Georgetown. They both belong to Cologne. She has 9, and it's 23-20. Tigers within 3. This is Pate with it. Working on Darnell. Puts it on the floor. Goes to the right behind the back. Can't shake Darnell. Back to Crawford. Crawford around a pick from Pate. Down the baseline in the corner. Mentala will let it fly. No. Stevenson tried to block out McKnight, and McKnight just did a nice job. Now leads Mentala with the left-hand layup. Good. McKnight made that happen. She won't get the basket, but she'll get credit for the lay-in. 5 now for Mentila. Down low, Toller. Got it. Reverse layup with the right hand. 4 now for Toller. And it's 25-22 Cougars. Don't have Panthers on the brain for tonight. This is Parrott, left-hand dribble down the left side. Puts up over Darnell. No good. Rebounded by Smith. Smith ahead to Toller here on the near side. Toller pulls up. Had a foot on the line. Oh, they got it a 3. Toller with back-to-back baskets. The latter is a 3, and we're tied at 23. Should be tied at 23, I believe. Let me.
This is a 30-second timeout extending into a media timeout.
I believe we're tied at 25, I think. I might count it. They're going to extend the timeout for St. Francis into a media timeout. We'll keep it right here. Again, coming up later on tonight, it'll be men's basketball action. The 1-0 men's basketball team will take on the Grenadiers of IU Southeast. And head coach Wiley Brown in his 16th season Of course, Wiley played at the University of Louisville. And on his assistant coaches list, he has DeJuan Wheat, also a former University of Louisville Cardinal and former Ballard Bruin. So it's 25-24, Georgetown trailing by 1. Should be 25 all. So they could evidently call that one by Toller a 2. So it's 25-24. Tigers trail by 1 with 7.5 to play here in the first half. This is Parrott. Gives to Pate. Comes around on the dribble. Toller on her. Down the right side goes Pate. Can't get free. Back to Crawford. Crawford guarded by Cologne. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Crawford steps through, shuffled her feet when she went through for the step through. So a turnover on St. Francis, and Georgetown with a basketball now to take the lead. Tigers trail 21-17 after 1. This is Toller with a basketball. Now to Darnell, back to Toller. Deep three on the right side, no. Goes and gets her own. It's loose and going to be called for a foul. First foul on Toller.
Foul charge to Georgetown's Aaron Toller, her first and the team's first.
And the Tigers will present full court man-to-man pressure. Barrett gets free and will bring it up on Smith. Across the timeline with 2 seconds to spare on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Crawford, who slips it down the corner to Pate on the left side. Now they give it. Here's a three from McKnight. Back rim, no. Rebounded by Cologne. Cologne with Stevenson on her left. Gives it to her. Left wing three. Yes, sir. Stevenson with 5 now. The Tigers out front. 27-25. A 10-4 scoring quarter so far in front of in favor of the Tigers. This is Parrott. Checks her dribble out at the 6-foot line for the volleyball. Now gives it high post to Crawford. McKnight cut back. Couldn't get it to her. Right corner to Battalion. Back to Crawford. 3 right of the circle. Yes. 10 now for Crawford. Stevenson trying to answer. No, it's short. Rebounded by Crawford. 28-27. Cougars. Mantila drives baseline. Right hand layup on the reverse. Good. Georgetown got beat back down. And the Tigers fall behind 30-27 here in the first half. Smith out of Stevenson. Right of the circle. On the dribble. Down the left side of the lane. Back to Toller. Shoots for the tie. Back rim, no. Cologne might have gotten away with a push-off, but got the rebound, put it up and in. $12 now for Cologne. It's 30-29 USF. Parrott with the basketball. Comes across the timeline, angles to the left side. Hands off to Crawford. Crawford will check it. Throws cross court to McKnight. Deep 3. In and out. Darnell blacked out Mantila and tipped it to Cologne. Here come the Lady Tigers. Smith down the lane. Left-hand runner. Left it way short. I thought she might have gotten bumped, but no call. And Lamparty coming in, replacing Darnell. So the Cougars still with a 1-point advantage, 30-29 with 4:36 to play before halftime. This is Parrott, who angles across. A pick and roll with Crawford down low. Lamparty cuts her off. Back to Mantila, who drives baseline. Throws a bullet of a pass to Crawford. And turn it over does the Cougars. Madden back in, replacing McKnight. This is Smith. Gets a screen from Lamparty. Can't use it. Back to her to Toller. Not bad pass. Picked off by Madden. Here come the Cougars again with that 1-point lead with 4 minutes to play in quarter number 2. That's down low to Crawford. Backs. Yep. Got her. Shuffled her feet as she caught the basketball. No argument from Crawford. Thought they may have gotten Landversite for the foul. Or no, it's Cologne, I'm sorry. This is Toller. To Lamparty. Stevenson cuts through. Back to Toller. Deep three, right side. In and out. Lamparty claims the rebound on the long kicker. Smith and Toller play catch. And now they go to Cologne. 10 seconds on the clock. Lamparty, reverse layup, left it short, rebounded by Madden. Tigers have missed a ton of layups here in the first half. This is Pate in the corner. To Madden. Toller gambled. Here's a deep three by Pate. No good. Nobody blocked out Madden. It goes and gets the rebound and lays it up and in. Madden with 3. 32-29 now. Cougars. Smith to Lamparty. And going to be called. Madden can be called for her second foul. First foul of the quarter on either side here. It'll be Rogers and Landversite in, replacing Cologne and Stevenson. So it'll be Smith triggering into Lamparty. Has it blocked by Madden. Landversite had it, and a foul coming up on Crawford. First foul on Crawford, and Landversite will go to the line for 2 shots, where she is 1 of 2 on the night for her 1 point. 32-29. St. Francis with the lead. And Georgetown looking to cut this lead to 1 if Landversite can convert both free throws here. No good on the first one from Landversite. Second one from Landversite's good. 1 of 2 for Jalen, and it's 32. Should be 32-30 if I'm not mistaken. 2.5 to play. This is Crawford. Steps through, left hand layup, good. The good old Euro step. This is Toller. Back to Smith. Goes down the block to Lamparty. Pulls it up from 4. It'll bounce all over the rim and drop. 4 now for Lamparty. 34-32. Georgetown trails by 2 with 2 minutes to play. Crawford will bring it across the timeline. Working on Smith. It's a screen from Madden. Now the right wing, it comes to Shelton. Cross court to McKnight, who bumps with Toller. And that's the first on Toller, the second on Toller. The first on the Tigers in this quarter. Suljamani will come back in for Georgetown, replacing Toller. This is Pate. Looking down low for Madden. Can't get to her. Gets a screen from Madden. Now we'll take it down the left side of the lane. Puts it up over Smith. Left hand. It bounces off the back of the rim and drops. First 2 for Pate. And it's 36-32. This is Rogers in the corner. Swing it around. to Suljamani. Now to Rogers. Back to Suljamani in the corner. Lamversite 3. No. Rebounded by Pate, who gives it off to Crawford. Looking for help and then loses control of the basketball and it goes out of bounds. Georgetown fortunate there as they gave up a driving lane down the right side of the lane. 36-32. Lamparty with it, left of the circle. Drives down the right side of the lane, laid it up and in. 6 now for Lamparty, and it's 36-34. Georgetown back within 2. Pate will inbound, gives it off in the corner to Crawford, who will bring it up on Smith, who gets help from Lamversite. This is Pate with it near side. 21 seconds on the shot clock, 33 on the game clock. So about 10 seconds between it. This is McKnight. Step back 3, right of the circle, no. Rebound tipped around. Suljamani with it, comes away with it. Suljamani down the lane. Euro step, laid it up and in. Suljamani with her first 2. We're tied at 36. McKnight to Crawford. USF needs to hurry. 3 seconds. Crawford, runner from the circle, no good. Madden with the rebound, and we're going to get a shot. It was after the horn. Just after the horn. The horn sounded, and then the whistle. Halftime here in Georgetown. The Tigers outscore the Cougars in the second quarter of play, 19-15. And to tie it here at the halftime break between the University of St. Francis and Georgetown at 36. You're watching Georgetown College Sports on the Tigers Sports Network. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College. Georgetown women tied here at halftime with the University of St. Francis at 36 apiece. St. Francis led 21-17 after 1 quarter of play and then jumped out to an 8-point lead when they scored the first 4 of the second quarter to lead 25-17, only to see the Tigers crawl back in it and eventually tie it at 36 here at the halftime break. Scoring looked like this in the first half. First for the visitors from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the St. Francis Lady Cougars. They were led in scoring by a pair of players, Emily Parrott along with Cassidy Crawford, each with 12 in the first half. 7 for Julia Mantila, 3 for Allie Madden, and 2 for Regan Pate. For Georgetown, they were led in scoring, with 11 points for Cassidy Colon, 6 points each for Aaron Toller and Izzy Lamparty, 5 points for A.J. Stevenson, 2 for Sophie Wilson and Madison Darnell, along with Jalen Landversite. We had in that first half, Jordan Rogers failed to score in that first half. She was the only Tiger who played, along with Callie Jackson, I should say, that both played the first quarter of the first half and failed to score. Georgetown men, along with the IU Southeast men's teams, were warming up. St. Francis now out on the floor warming up here in the second half. The Georgetown men still on the floor, awaiting the arrival of the Georgetown women here. Again, Georgetown not shooting the basketball very well from behind the arc. Neither team really, although St. Francis shooting in the first half trying to see what they were 1 of 6 from 3 in the second quarter. Georgetown only 2 of 8. Georgetown on the day 3 of 14 from behind the arc in the first 20 minutes of action for 21%. St. Francis shooting 36.4% from behind the arc on 4 of 10. Where the game stayed close and St. Francis had a chance to put some distance between themselves and Georgetown was at the foul line. Georgetown goes 7 of 10 from the foul line in the first half for 70%. St. Francis goes 2 of 8 in the first half of play. Georgetown overall shooting 13 of 37 from the floor for a 35.1% average. However, the Cougars shooting a little bit better than that, shooting 53.6% from the floor on 15 of 27 from the floor overall. Georgetown back out on the floor. We're about 2 minutes away from beginning the second half underway here in Georgetown. Tigers looking for their first victory of the season. They lost 66-53 in their opener against Indiana Tech. And the Tigers looking for their first victory on the year. St. Francis comes in 3-1 on the season. So the Tigers playing on only their second game. St. Francis playing in their fourth game of the year. Getting Georgetown slowly back out on the floor, warming up here with a minute 30 to play before we get this one underway in the second half of action here from Georgetown. Tigers looking for some kind of spark. Got a little bit of a spark just by hustle from A.J. Stevenson in the first half, the 5'10 sophomore out of Huntland, Tennessee. If you talk to Coach Jeff Nickel, I know from experience of watching his teams play at Shawnee, he wanted effort, especially on the defensive side of things, and he got it from the sophomore out of Huntsland. So it'll be Georgetown basketball to begin things here in the second half of play. Georgetown's biggest lead in the first half was 2. St. Francis's largest lead in the first half was 8, I believe. Actually, St. Francis's largest lead was 9 at 39, at a minute 39 to play in the first half, and Georgetown was able to crawl back in it. So Georgetown and St. Francis ready to get underway here in the second half. It'll be Cologne and Smith, our two players. As we get you set to the inbound here on the near side, it'll be Toller along with Darnell and Lamparty starting for Georgetown, the original starting 5. Toller with it straight away between the circles. Steps back, 19-footer from the left wing. No good. Darnell will chase it down, and it'll go out of bounds to St. Francis. Not a very good possession for Georgetown to start the second half. Full court pressure. Parrott gets free of Smith, gets the inbounds pass, and she'll start up on the dribble against the sophomore out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Parrott with 12 points in the first half, 2 fouls. She is one of a trio of Cougars with a pair of fouls here starting the second half. This is Pate. Can't get free. Now to McKnight. Down low to Crawford, who got free of Toller and laid it in. 14 now for Crawford. And it's 38-36, St. Francis. Cologne to Toller on the left wing. To Darnell here on the right of the circle. Steps through a couple of players. Somehow got through and laid it in. 4 for Madison Darnell, and we're tied again. 1 minute into the second half of play here. Crawford turned an ankle. She gets up and favoring that right ankle. Now we'll get the ball back, put it up and in, count it, and a foul. Crawford now with 16, can't get 17. The foul is on Toller. It's actually Cologne. That's the second on Cologne. One foul, one more coming for Crawford, who has 16. She has all 4 points for the Cougars here in the second half. Free throw from Crawford is no good. Lamparty took it away from Parrott, and it almost fell out of bounds and hits Cologne in the back, and it drops at the feet of Smith. Almost a near disaster for Georgetown there. Backdoor cut. Smith didn't get it up high enough for Darnell. And a turnover, Georgetown. Here comes the Cougars, leading by 2 in the basketball. This is Crawford. Looks like she's none for the worse for wear with that right ankle. Here is a deep 3 for Pate. No good. Good job of blocking out, but she forgot to go get the basketball. Smith, and then Parrott stepped on the out-of-bounds line on the far side. So the Tigers will get it back. Trailing by 2. This is Cologne, right side Darnell. Darnell works around McKnight in the corner to Toller. 3, got it. First lead for Georgetown in a long time. 9 now for Toller. They hang the net there. 41-40, Georgetown. This is Parrott. Should be 41-40, Tigers. Not 43, 41-40. This is Crawford. Off balance shot, no good. Lombardi claims the rebound. Headed the other direction. This is Darnell. Down the lane, throws it up, no good, and a foul coming up on Georgetown, or actually St. Francis, and that I believe is on Pate. The second on Pate. She becomes the fourth Cougar with 2 fouls. It should be 41-40 on the Georgetown. There we go. Scoreboard in-house had it 41-40 St. Francis. And Christoph over here has got it right. So 41-40. Now it's 42-40 as Darnell hits the first one. And Darnell goes 2 for 2 from the line. She has 6 now, and that is the largest lead of the night for Georgetown at 43-40. This is Parrott with the basketball. Quickly ahead it comes to Pate. Back out to Parrott as Georgetown tries to force the pace a little bit. Parrott to McKnight. McKnight can't get free. Back out to Parrott. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Parrott down the lane on Toller. Left-hand runner, left it short. Toller has it. Inbounds to Smith. Smith with the basketball. Nobody stops her. Back to Toller. 3 straight away. In and out. Rebounded by Lamparty, and we're going to get a held ball, and it'll go on the alternating possession to Georgetown. Good hustle by, I believe that was Mantila. And St. Francis will have it. With 6:33 to play in the third, Georgetown leading by 3. Crawford can't get it in. And the cover for the volleyball netting here at Georgetown comes up out of the floor. And of all the guys over there, they could have asked for something to keep that in. They asked Keith Kearns. The Georgetown College men's 3rd all-time leading scorer here. And I tease him, he played it a long time ago. So he's going to get down there and repair it with some athletic tape. We'll see if that holds here. So we have a timeout on the floor for repair. As you look there to the left of the screen, the gentleman in the gray sweatsuit, that's athletic director Brian Evans. Now Georgetown will inbound it. And I believe that'll be on the, left baseline extended, or the right baseline extended for Georgetown. Tigers lead 43-40 with 6:33 to play in the third. This is Cologne in the right corner. Out deep to Smith. Left wing 3 for Toller. Yes. 2 threes in the second half for Toller. The Tigers now lead 46-40. 12 now for Toller. Here's a steal by Smith. Tried to save it back in. Crawford dove and knocked it ahead. Headed the other direction is Pate, who lowered his shoulder and a blocking foul. Said they're in the circle. The foul coming up on Madison Darnell. That's the second foul on Darnell, and we'll have Regan Pate at the line for 2 shots. Pate has 2 points on the night. And the shot from Pate is good. 3 now for the junior out of Granger, Indiana. Pate hits both. Now has 4. And it's 46-44. That 6-point Tiger lead cut to 2 now. Cologne looking down low. Down the lane, back to Toller. Going to be called for steps. Closed out real quickly did Parrott and caused Toller to shuffle her feet. So Crawford will inbound to Parrott. And the Cougars will have a chance to tie or take the lead here this trip down after trailing a moment ago by 6. McKnight on the right side. Now down on the right block it goes to Crawford. The double team comes, kicks it to Mantila. To Pate in the left corner. Gets around Smith, plays it up and in, and we're tied again. 6 now for Pate. Here's Darnell quickly ahead as Georgetown comes in the corner to Toller on the left side. Back out. Cologne, 3, left wing, in and out. Goes and almost gets her own, but Parrott beat her to the loose ball. Here comes St. Francis looking to take the lead. Pate for 3, yes. The last 7 to St. Francis, courtesy of Regan Pate. She now has 9, and it's 49-46 Cougars. With under 5 to play in the third. Darnell had it knocked away. She gets it back. Pulls up 15, right at the elbow. No good, way off. Rebounded by St. Francis. Here come the Lady Cougars looking to extend. Here's McKnight, 3 out of the right corner. Back rim, no. Rebound pulled off. Here comes Darnell right down the middle of the floor. Has it blocked out of bounds by Crawford. Media timeout here with 4:32 to play in the third. A 9-0 run by St. Francis, and the Cougars have a 3-point lead. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, third quarter action for the women's portion of the men's-women's doubleheader here tonight. And the visiting St. Francis Lady Cougars right now getting the better of Georgetown, 49-46. Georgetown took the lead in their largest lead of the night at 46-40 a moment ago, but a 9-0 run for the Cougars has put St. Francis back out on top. 7 of them coming from Regan Pate here in the third quarter. She personally went on a 7-0 run herself to have the Tigers leading them. Inbounds to Laversite. Now to, and the ball goes out of bounds to Georgetown. So the Tigers, as we had a foul on Lamparty. So the second on Lamparty. And St. Francis will inbound against full court Georgetown pressure. They get it into Parrott. Parrott's done a great job of handling pressure, albeit I don't think it's been turned up as high as it can be, but that's more of token pressure. This is Crawford to Pate, 3 right wing, short. And Georgetown will get it back as the ball went out of bounds just to the end of the St. Francis bench. And here they come back the other way with a chance to either get it to one or tie. And a charging foul. Nice acting job from McKnight. But I thought also that possibly Toller may have extended that left arm a little far, and it's her third on Toller. The offensive foul turns it over on Georgetown. And Soljamani comes back in for the Lady Tigers. Trailing 49-46 with 3:57 to play in the third. Here come the Cougars again, trying to expand on that three-point lead. Here's Parrott. Gives it to Pate on the handoff. They'll swing it around, and McKnight was going back door. And Matila thought she was going to be in the left corner. So a miscommunication between the two Cougars, and Georgetown gets it back on the unforced turnover. Soljamani with it. Back to Laverside. Now as they run the weave out front against this sagging man-to-man from USF. Laverside to Smith. Left block to Lamparty. Drives, puts it up over Mantilla. They're going to call Mantilla for the foul. And I think she got it up top, but I think they're going to call her for the for the right knee. They're going to call her on the hack, but I thought everything up top was good. I really thought she got below her. Mantilla with her third. She becomes the first Cougar with 3 fouls. And we get McKnight going to the bench for a breather as Allie Madden comes back in for St. Francis. Free throw from Lamparty is good. 7 now for Lamparty, who's been a spark here in the second half for the Tigers. She hits both now with 8. 49-48, 3:28 to play in the third. Georgetown pressuring. And the ball knocked out of bounds by the Tigers. And St. Francis will inbounds again. Inbound will be Crawford as Parrott and Pate exchange screens, and Pate will have it, and she'll try to bring it up the floor against pressure from Smith. And she'll get it across the timeline and give it now to Parrott. 49-48, St. Francis with the lead and the ball. Parrott down the right side, checks her dribble, now gives back to Madden, who gives it back to her on the right wing. Parrott into the lane with a screen from Madden. Might have gotten away with that moving screen as she picked off Smith. And then Madden gets the rebound and puts it back up in. Now 5 for Madden. 51-48 Georgetown. Trails by 3. Rebounded by Crawford. Headed the other way. Jump pass to Pate on the right side in front of the St. Francis bench. 2.5 to play, and a whistle and a foul on Soljamani. That's the first on Soljamani, and the 4th on Georgetown of this quarter. Actually, the 5th on Georgetown of this quarter. So Pate will go to the line for 2 shots. 9 for Pate right now. First shot for Pate is good. Give her 10 now. She joins Crawford and Parrott in double figures. And it's 52-48. They get 53-48 St. Francis. Cologne back in, replacing Madison Darnell. 11 now for Pate. They give it off to Soljamani. Now back to Laversite, to Cologne in the left corner. Drives on Crawford, cut off, jump pass, goes off the hands of Lamparty, into the hands of Laversite. Soljamani down the lane, has it stripped away by Crawford, who loses it, gets it back, and into front court she'll come. 5-point advantage for the Lady Cougars. This is Pate. Step back, 18-footer straight away, no. Rebounded by Soljamani. Soljamani behind her. Cologne, deep 3, no. Rebound by Landversite, kept alive into the hands of Lamparty. Lamparty back to Cologne. Cologne down the lane, a whistle and a foul. They're going to call a blocking foul on Parrott. She becomes the second Cougar with 3 with 1:49 to play in the third. It'll be Smith inbounding. As we get McKnight in to replace Parrott. Very important player for USF tonight is Emily Parrott. They inbound to the Tigers to Suljamani. Step back, 15-footer, left elbow, good. Suljamani with her second field goal, and it's 53-50. Georgetown trailing by 3 with 1:34 to play here in the third. They inbound, stole by Landversite, and a foul coming up on St. Francis. I think they're going to call it on Pate. I believe that's going to be a big foul if it's on Mantila. It is on Pate. Regan Pate, her third. She's the third Cougar now with 3, and we'll get Shelton in replacing Pate. So it's Pate, Mantila, and Parrott, all with 3 fouls for St. Francis. Jalen Landversite at the line for 2. She hits the first. Give Landversite 3 now on the night. Second shot is also good. 4 now for Landversite, 53-52. Georgetown trails by 1. Parrott across the timeline, double team just inside the timeline. Don't need to reach, and a travel on Parrott. Nobody came to help her, but that's where you want to go. If you're Georgetown, into no man's land, right across the timeline in the corner, and the Tigers have a chance to take the lead back here. They trail 53-52. Smith almost turned it over, gets it back. They go down the block to Lamparty. Lamparty penetrates, missed it. Rebound, though, to Shelton, who gives it back to Parrott. Boy, the number of layups Georgetown's missed tonight could have a double-digit lead. Parrott with the fake handoff, and then Suljamani pokes it away from behind, and the Cougars will inbound on the left baseline, extended. Regan Pate will enter back, replacing Parrott, just to give her a little bit of a breather as we head down the stretch here, the third quarter. McKnight inbounds and a 5-second call. Third one of the night forced by Georgetown. And with 52.3 to play, St. Francis turns it over, and Georgetown with a chance to take the lead again. This is Cologne. So Suljamani back to Cologne, looking down low for Lamparty. Can't get it to her. Jump pass in the corner. Smith for 3. Short. Rebound Lamparty on the backside, though. Gives it back to Suljamani. 3, left wing. Looks long, is long. Lamparty, though, comes flying in, knocks it out of bounds. Back to St. Francis. And in comes Emily Parrott to run the final couple of seconds. Here is 28 seconds exactly left in the third. St. Francis with a 1-point lead, 53-52. Outscored Georgetown here 17-16 in this quarter. Parrott across the timeline, calling for Crawford to come get a screen. She doesn't use it. Now goes down the block to Crawford. Back to McKnight. McKnight down the right baseline, all the way to the rim. Had a block from behind by Suljamani. In the hands of Pate. Pulled it up, left it short. Suljamani with the rebound. Knocked away. Parrott for 3. No. Rebounded by Lamparty, and that's the end of the third quarter. Whole lot of contact. Who says basketball is not a contact sport? Through 3 quarters of action here in Georgetown, the Tigers trail St. Francis 53-52. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym here in Georgetown. Women's basketball action of the Georgetown Tigers trailing here, headed to quarter number 4, 53-52. Coming up after this, about 20 minutes after the conclusion of the women's game, it'll be the Georgetown men entertaining Indiana University Southeast. In case you were not with us early on, we were talking about how the Georgetown College men's team really pushed Western Kentucky University back on Saturday afternoon. The final score was 83-66. Tigers, though, really pushed the Hilltoppers. So it'll be Suljamani Smith, along with Cologne, Darnell, and Callie Jackson for Georgetown here to start the fourth quarter. The Tigers have the ball, looking to take the lead. Smith looks down to the right side to Darnell, put it up, count it, and a foul. Matila with her 4th. 8 now for Madison Darnell, and quickly up off the bench will be Allie Madden back in, replacing Mantala, who just picked up her 4th foul. Darnell looking to complete the old-fashioned three-point play and give the Tigers a 2-point lead, and she does. Nine now for Madison Darnell. Parrott gets the ball inbounds from Crawford, ahead on the return pass to Crawford, who goes all the way down to the right side, right corner to Pate. Pate to Crawford. They try to go down low to Madden. A foul on the catch on Madison Darnell. I believe that is Darnell's 3rd. And St. Francis will inbound with Parrott to Madden, working on Jackson, down on the block. Took herself out of a shooting range and a travel on Madden. Backed the smaller Jackson down, but took herself out of scoring position when she did. And Georgetown with a 2-point lead in the basketball. 9:20 the clock on the move here in quarter number 4. This is Jackson with on the right side. Bounces down low on the right block to Darnell. Out to Smith, to Cologne, now to Jackson. Jackson working on Crawford. And a 3-second call on Jackson. Georgetown really trying to pound the ball inside is Suljamani, replaced by Toller now. Tigers will bring a little bit more pressure now. Parrott has it go off her hands, out of bounds. Smith deflected it, and deflected right off the hand and back out of bounds of Parrott. And Georgetown gets it back underneath their own basket. And they'll inbound here, will Georgetown. And Georgetown now to Toller. Toller with the basketball, step back, had a foot on the line, left it short. Cologne, though, with the rebound, going to be called for steps. Georgetown with a chance to get a little bit of distance between them and St. Francis. Tough call there on Cologne. Crawford will inbounds. It goes off the hand of Cologne, and they'll just inbound it from the same side again. 8:56 to play in the game. Georgetown with a 2-point lead. They inbound it, deflected by Toller. Darnell has it down the lane, controls the dribble, puts it up off glass and good. 11 now for Madison Darnell, and it's 57-53. Pate goes down. We have a timeout, St. Francis. And Georgetown turning up the heat a little bit. Pate lost her footing, went down to one knee, and had to be bailed out by St. Francis's coaching staff to avoid the turnover. In case it comes into play later on in the quarter, it's St. Francis will have the basketball on the alternating possession. So Georgetown with a 57-53 lead. Tigers have led by as many as 6. That has been their largest lead of the night. St. Francis on the night has led by as many as 9. Right now the Tigers with a 4-point lead, 57-53 here in the fourth quarter with time to play. Georgetown looking to go 1-1 on the year. Again, coming up for Coach Jeff Nichols' ball club after tonight. They'll be back here at home on Friday night when they entertain Miami University Hamilton. That'll be first part of a doubleheader. And then coming up on the 17th, I believe that's Thursday night, a doubleheader at Wilberforce. So it'll be Pate inbounding, gets it into Parrott, and St. Francis will bring it up against jump and run pressure. And Georgetown forces another St. Francis turnover. Smith will inbound, or actually it'll be Cologne inbounding for the Tigers right here below us. And Smith will run the point again. Weave with Darnell. Darnell, right corner to Toller. Toller, step back three, no, rebounded by Crawford. Crawford all the way down the floor, all the way to the right baseline. Cut off, back to Madden, who drives. Discarded. Jackson with the left hand, no call. And Madden with her 7th point. It's a 2-point advantage for Georgetown, 57-55. This is Darnell. Smith to Toller. Toller working on Pate, spins into the lane, runs into Madden, left one short, rebounded though by Darnell. Cologne, 3 out of the right corner, too strong. Rebounded backside by Parrott. Now to McKnight. Skip pass cross court, Pate. Thought about a 3, but Cologne closed out. Pate with it, crossover dribble into the lane, going to be called for steps. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 57-55 Tigers. They avoid St. Francis making this a tie ball game, but it has been a little bit closer than I think a lot of people thought. This is Jackson to Smith. Smith to Toller. On the floor to Smith. Left wing three. Yes. 5 now for Smith, and it's 60-55 Tigers with 7 to play. Here's Parrott. Kills a dribble. Double team. Steps through it. Has a helping of which in foul on Cologne. Foul was on Cologne. The second on the Tigers here in the quarter. That's the third on Cologne. And St. Francis will inbound here from the left side. Parrott circles back out. Kills a dribble straight away now to Crawford. Crawford down the right side, puts it up over Jackson and Darnell. No good. Madden rebounds, left it on the underside of the rim, back out to McKnight. McKnight, three, good. First field goal of the night for McKnight. And it's 60-58. St. Francis back within a deuce as we move towards the 6-minute mark. Darnell, Toller, deep three, left side, yes. 15 now for Toller, and it's 63-58 Tigers. This is Crawford. Crawford gets a screen from Madden in the corner. McKnight, three on the way. 2 in a row for no. Long rebound, though, to Crawford. Crawford in the lane on Jackson. Turns, puts up a wild shot. McKnight, though, keeps it alive. Back to Crawford. 3 out of the right corner. Good. Crawford now brings St. Francis within a deuce at 63-61 with 5:15 to play in the game. Darnell tries to go down low to Jackson. Tipped away, saved back in by Pate, into the hands of Parrott. Here comes St. Francis with a chance to either tie or take the lead with this possession here. Parrott, who's yet to score in the second half. McKnight in the left corner on the skip pass. They go down low to Crawford, too high for her. Darnell intercepts. Here they come the other way, the Tigers. Darnell back to Jackson. Nice job by McKnight. Stripping the ball away, and if I'm Darnell, I'm taking that thing all the way to the hole. They didn't pick her up. The typical Madison Darnell fashion, being unselfish. Media timeout with 4:46 to play in the fourth quarter. It's Georgetown 63, St. Francis 61. Back with more on the Tigers Sports Network. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym here on the campus of Georgetown College. And the heat is on in Davis Reed, a.k.a. the sauna. The inbounds to Cologne. Puts it up after a power dribble. Missed it, left it short. Rebound to McKnight. Boy, Georgetown has missed a ton of gimmies. You can point to that. Parrott fakes the handoff and goes around Smith, and Smith grabs her. First foul of the night on Sophie Smith. Foul 3 on Georgetown of the quarter. As Parrott inbounds to McKnight for the lead. Short. Rebounded by Stevenson. Here's Smith to Stevenson. In the lane, it goes to Lamparty. Skip pass over to Darnell, and Darnell was cutting towards the baseline. Here melted into the stands, did Lamparty, and the Tigers turn it over with a chance to extend that 2-point lead to a couple of buckets. And now St. Francis with a chance, again, to either tie or take the lead. Parrott with the basketball as she and Sophie Smith have waged war at the point tonight. Pate for the lead. Front rim, no. Rebounded by Stevenson. Here's Smith with it. Ahead to Lamparty. Good catch. She'll come out to the baseline. Now back to Smith. Back to Lamparty. Lamparty on the move. Going to be called for travel. Another unforced turnover for Georgetown. .351 to play, and another 5-second count. Boy, that was quick. That was a pretty quick 5-second count. That's number 4 of the 5-second counts, trying to get the ball in bounds. Georgetown gets the basketball back. They inbounds deep to Lamparty, now to Cologne. To Stevenson, 3, left wing, short. Nice job of blocking out by Pate. And then a held ball coming back in was Darnell, and they say the alternating possession goes to St. Francis. So St. Francis with another chance to tie or take the lead here. The St. Francis team playing with just 7 players in uniform tonight is giving Georgetown all they can handle, and then some. Crawford will bring it up. Georgetown still man-to-man that they've been all night. Crawford on Lamparty to McKnight for the lead out of the right corner. Back rim, no. Rebounded by Lamparty. Here's Darnell with it on the right side. All the way down the baseline. Steps through, put it up off the glass and in. And timeout, St. Francis. Oh, no, timeout, Georgetown. A 30-second timeout with 3:15 to play in the fourth quarter. Tigers lead 65-61 off a nice drive and shot by Madison Darnell. Coming up after this, it'll be men's action when the Grenadiers of Indiana University Southeast come here to Georgetown to take on the Tigers. Georgetown looking for victory number 2 on the season. After a, give it to you here in a minute here, a Georgetown victory. Actually, you're looking for victory number 3 on the year. Is Georgetown will full court pressure here. Actually, that was an 88-68 victory for the Hilltoppers over the Georgetown men in exhibition basketball back on Saturday. This is Pate, who bounces down the right block to Crawford, working on Darnell. Gets down underneath, put it back up, no good. Left it short. Darnell with a rebound. Darnell down the middle of the floor to Stevenson on the left side. Going to be called for steps. Georgetown turns it back over to St. Francis. Under 3 to play now in the game. Pate inbounds to Parrott. And Parrott again will bring it up against pressure from Sophie Smith. Right side to Pate. Here's Parrott with 18 to shoot. Mid post on the right side to Crawford. He backs down against Darnell. Left hand layup, no good. Stevenson and McKnight battle for it. And it goes to Georgetown on the alternating possession. Aaron Toller will report back in, replacing Stevenson here. 2.5 to play. Georgetown looking to extend that 4-point advantage. This is Darnell to Cologne. Now to Lamparty. Lamparty around the right side. Can't get free to Toller. Toller fakes. Pulls it back right side. Darnell for three. Yes. Madison Darnell having a heck of a second half here. And it's 68-61, Tigers by 7. That's the largest lead of the night for the Tigers. Crawford gets a screen from Pate. McKnight, three out of the left corner. Here, back rim, no. Lamparty with yet another rebound. And we're going to get a held ball and go back to St. Francis. Georgetown will get the next possession once St. Francis inbounds here. Pate, three, left wing, back rim, no. Rebounded by Cologne, who took it away from Darnell, her teammate. Here's Smith. This is Toller. Now to Madison. Now it goes to Cologne, who loses it. She'll hustle back, and a foul coming up on Parrott. That'll be 4 on Parrott. And it'll be Georgetown basketball. Boy, they almost turned it over. Got a break when Parrott took out Cologne and was called for the foul. That's foul number 4 on Parrott. 1:28 to play, 68-61 Tigers. Georgetown leading with the basketball, 68-61. Cologne will inbound just in front of the bench, just to the left of assistant coach Keith Currens. This is Darnell to Toller. Out of Cologne. Whoa, got a little high on the dribble. Cologne with 5 to Toller. Deep three. Bingo. 4 threes, all in the second half for Toller. She has 18. First double-digit lead for either side. Under a minute to play. 71-61 Tigers. Parrott down the lane. Left-hand layup, good. That's Parrott's first points of the second half. She had 12 at the half. 71-63 with 45 seconds to play. Tigers with an 8-point lead. And the foul coming up, and I believe that is on Crawford. Second on Cassidy Crawford. And the third of the quarter on St. Francis. The inbounds to Toller. Toller down the lane, spins, double spins, puts it up, left it short. The foul coming off on, I believe that's Parrott. And that's all for Parrott. So Emily Parrott becomes the first player in the game to foul out. And she fouls out with 14 points tonight. She was part of the Cougars' attack in the first half that saw her and Cassidy Crawford score 12 points apiece to forge a 36-all tie at halftime. Aaron Toller at the line for 2 shots. She has 18 on the night. First free throw is good from Toller. Gives her 19 now, 72-63 Tigers. The second one from Toller is also good. And 20 for Toller, and we give Jeff Nickel will call timeout. So timeout on the floor here. 30.2 to play in the ball game. Georgetown with a 10-point lead. Again, it's Georgetown and Indiana University Southeast. Men's action coming up at the conclusion of this game tonight. Georgetown men will be back in action on Thursday night here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym when they host Midway. Game time is at 7 o'clock. Then the men's-women's doubleheader on Thursday night, the 17th, in Ohio against Wilberforce. And then the big ones, the number one ranked Thomas More Lady Saints come in here as the top dog in the NAIA so far here in this 2022-23 season. And then the men, Thomas More, ranked number 2 in the country, come in to take on the Georgetown Tigers. So that's on the 19th. In the meantime, Georgetown with that 10-point lead, and they go a 1-2-2 look this time to Georgetown. 25 seconds to play. Georgetown will get their first win of the season to go to 1-1. St. Francis will fall to 3-2 on the season. Crawford, runner, good. Nice look from Crawford. .21 for Crawford. Georgetown will hold it. They'll win 73-65 here tonight. And the Georgetown Tigers go to 1-1 on the season. St. Francis drops to 3-2. But a real good effort tonight did the Lady Lady Cougars here tonight in Georgetown. 20 minutes put on the clock. The Georgetown men will take on Indiana University Southeast. LC Yoakum will join me after that. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes from now to get you ready for Georgetown College men's Tiger basketball.